two heavyweights at the quarterback position. Which quarterback do you think is going to have the bigger impact, though?
I think it's going to be Mac Jones from Alabama, and he's simply been at the helm of arguably what's been the greatest offense we've ever seen in college football. Mac Jones has played at such a high level consistently week in, week out throughout this entire season. A guy that's completing 77% of his throws. He's thrown 36 touchdowns versus only 4 interceptions. And he does a lot of the things that you look at, jumps out on you in film, with arm strength, accuracy, and touch. But to me, it's some of the finer points that sometimes are difficult to coach. His anticipation and getting the ball out before his receivers turn around is as good as I've seen in college football in a very, very long time. He's going up against an Ohio State secondary that's been average at best. Ohio State does have a good pass rush up front. Mac Jones, I think, is going to have to play at a very high level tonight to win.
Well, you know what? But I'd say the same about Justin Fields as well. He doesn't have a 1,000-yard receiver this year. Obviously, Alabama does not have that problem with Devontae Smith, who is an absolute stud. And Lord help them if Jaylen Waddle comes back tonight. We don't know after that ankle injury in Week 8. But I wanted the name Patrick Surtain jumps to my mind because we mentioned so much about Jones, about Najee Harris, about Devontae Smith. We don't mention what this dude does defensively for Alabama. You put him on an island. The dude hasn't given up much. He hasn't committed one penalty at the cornerback spot this entire season thus far. I mean, when I look at him and the way he is a clear, shut-down corner, how much of an effect do you think that's going to have on what Ohio State does tonight, particularly in the case of Justin Fields?
Well, tons, because Patrick Surtain's a guy that essentially just eliminates one side of the field. He is the best cornerback in college football, period. He has great size, he has length and speed, and he can eliminate wide receivers. Now, keep in mind, there are going to be times where he matches up with Chris Olave from Ohio State tonight. In my mind, one of the best deep threats in all of college football. So that matchup, number 2 for Ohio State against number 2 for Alabama, that's going to be key to watch because Justin Fields likes to take shots. I don't think Justin Fields is afraid of anybody. I don't expect him to be afraid of Surtain tonight. But when you see that matchup, 2 versus 2, that to me is the best matchup on the field tonight.
Yeah, I'm not so worried about the Ohio State offense. But what about the defense? Stephen A. mentioned it. You think Waddle's going to come back? And if he does, what does that mean for Alabama's offense?
Well, it's huge. Alabama, in terms of what they already have, and Devontae Smith and John Mechie and Billingsley's this 6'4", 230-pound tight end that's now running like a receiver, and you've seen his skill set and kind of his role go up. Jaylen Waddle is one of the most explosive players in college football when he's healthy, period, all right? You know the adage in football, speed kills. This is a 4.37 40 guy that can catch bubble screens and go deep on double moves and take it to the house every single time he touches the ball. Steve Sarkisian's shown us they can move number 17 around. You'll see him in the slot. You'll see him outside. They motion him to the backfield and give him handoffs. So if 17 plays, that's a major problem for Ohio State. But I still think Jaylen Waddle, even if he's not 100%, guys, could have a big impact in this game. If I was Steve Sarkisian, I would just use him as a decoy and try to get the defense's attention away from a Najee Harris or away from a Devontae Smith. I think if 17 dresses up and plays tonight, he has an impact regardless.
Let me put you on the spot here, Jesse, about the Ohio State Buckeyes. Does Alabama even need Jaylen Waddle to beat them?
Yeah, they do. They do. I get really nervous about Ohio State's mentality when they're an underdog and they feel disrespected. They have the ability, it seems, to always circle the wagons and go prove the world wrong. And we saw that against Clemson in the semifinal game. Nobody gave them a chance. Dabo Swinney had them ranked 11 in his poll. A lot of people said, well, if you only play 6 games, you shouldn't even get into the playoff. They wanted revenge based on what happened in the previous semifinal back in 2019, and they came out and they played their most complete game. Justin Fields got injured, wasn't 100%. That was the best I'd ever seen Justin Fields throw the ball. They're 8.5-point dogs tonight. Everybody's saying Alabama's a more complete team. Ryan Day has said this before. If there's one game to play, I like the Buckeyes because of the talent, and he gets his team to play angry when they feel disrespected. So Alabama needs to watch out. Ohio State can win this game tonight.
Jesse, what's your prediction on the game?
I'm going to go Alabama. I'm expecting a lot of points, Max, but at the end of the day, I think the way Mac Jones has played and just this offense in general, they're so explosive. They can score points in such a wide variety of ways. We talked about the struggles Ohio State has had back in the secondary defensively, and just the fact that Justin Fields is not 100%. I expect him to play well, but I do think Alabama's defense is going to get that one extra crucial stop. I just think this is too complete of a team, too talented, too much first-round NFL talent on both sides of the ball. So I'm going to take
if Waddle
the
doesn't play
in a high-scoring game.
But you
Even
said if Waddle doesn't play, you don't like him to win? Okay, gotcha.
No, if Waddle doesn't play, I'm still going Tide.